Ready?
Yep, you're on.
Cheer Rap Grid Radio. We are glad y'all listen to us and tuning in.
What up, world?
What up, Sonny? You good?
I'm good, man. You good?
I'm great, man. And we got our special guest, man. Introduce yourself, player.
Quest MCODY, Detroit is up in this mother scooter. That's what the Reverend that stayed across the street from me back in the D. He
Scooter?
He like, that mother scooter. I'm like, if you mean motherfucker, you still gonna go to hell for it.
Yeah. Wow.
Man, wouldn't that be some shit? Go to hell for one motherfucker, for real?
Right.
Yo, just this one time I was
Just
perfect.
one motherfucker.
This one dude, I was like, you motherfucker. That was it. You was done.
Yo.
You lived 70 years and every day you were good. And this one time,
one
motherfucker.
One time somebody cut you off. Motherfucker.
Oh, it's over. Like Jay Focus. You ever see that battle where Jay Focus was like, I think he was battling.
What, you talking about Jay Focus?
Yeah, he was battling Hollow, I think, and he was like, he messed up, and he was like something.
Was this when he bodied Ness or another battle?
No, we're gonna let that one ride, man. That's gonna beat you up. But he was getting chewed, I think, by Hollow, and he was like, oh fuck, because he choked.
Yeah,
and he said, oh fuck.
Oh, word. That's hilarious. That's like when you see like newscasters on an outtake. They're like, hello, gentlemen. You know what I mean? They're like, motherfucker. You know what I mean?
You're like, oh, no. Not you, Perkins, if you're from Detroit.
Speaking of that, you want to know something mad crazy? Is that, you remember that news reporter that was like, he was like, oh, fuck this country ass place. Bugs flying all in my head.
Legendary.
When I had the shit happen at my house and I was on the news, that's the dude who came and interviewed me.
That's crazy.
I was talking to X Factor, and he's like, "Man, it's that it." You know, motherfucker. Yeah. Like, man, was that direct house? Was that real? I'm like, yeah, man. That was, I guess, shit.
Whatever. Niggas thought I made it up.
They came. I'm like, yeah. You think he hired a fucking news crew?
Nah, I mean, I'm not gonna get into the whole story, but the crazy thing is,
he was selling cocaine in Texas.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah, right.
People saw that and during grind time, and they were like, "This nigga Direct got rich off us, and we struggling, son."
Man,
and it was all. I mean, people know what the deal was now, but that shit was like crazy, that
Dave Chappelle skit where he be in the barbershop.
Yeah,
niggas be like $10,000. Like what?
Yeah, I know, but that was I was staying with a family member. You know what I mean? We was getting it rocking and popping, and they tried to hit on the young black shine. So we had to maneuver out the situation, and that's how it happened. Yeah. But enough of that. Quest MCODY
was cracking, man.
There's so many places that we could start, but this is what I want to do, man. Detroit, I personally believe Detroit, Philly, New York, and Cali is the most influential places in battle history. But I think Detroit, you guys didn't get the views that the Philly guys got in the beginning. You know what I mean? You guys didn't have like the big companies, and you guys didn't have you didn't live in the type of city that was New York.
Did people know that there was such a big scene for battle rap in Detroit before 8 Mile?
Before 8 Mile, I wouldn't know, because like before 8 Mile,
you were inside. From inside, you couldn't. You weren't from the outside looking in.
No, not even that. I didn't battle rap before 8 Mile. Like people don't know. Like I'm a product of 8 Mile. Like I went and auditioned to be like an extra or something, and this dude that was being managed by my manager, Mello. His name was in the battle. It was lickety split, whatever. And Elvis would be turning in his grave. You know? And we auditioned it, but he got a role. And like at the time, the people that were filming 8 Mile, they were going to this club called the Lush, that I wasn't old enough to get into, or whatever. So they were like scouting talent. So they had the little hookup where, you know, how you saw Marv and some of the other people battle Eminem, and it was supposed to be like, so I was on set as an extra. People ain't even know I rap. Like I ain't know Marv, none of them people or whatever. I met Proof playing, he would play chess with the extras on set or whatever. He could be doing whatever he wanted to do, and he out there with us playing chess or whatever. And that's how I knew him. And he called me Poindexter. That was it. He like, hey man, you look like Bobby Fischer or something. I'm a little guy or whatever. And that's how I got introduced to the scene or whatever. But people didn't look at our scene until 8 Mile really.
And then overnight, it was like the battle rap city for real. Like from my perspective, like from that movie, it was like that was like the battle mecca. People like overnight, I was like, man, everybody from Detroit must battle. It'd be crazy. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, we had It's crazy because like we didn't have a YouTube presence like you would see a Reed Dollars in Philly, all them in the room and different stuff like that. Like we had tournaments. That's how our battles were like my whole battle career starting off was I won a battle, I won some money, and then it would be a battle every single night for at least $100 or whatever. So it'd be a 16 person tourney or a 32 person tournament, and you could get in it, and if you win, you get the bread. So my thing was I tried to battle 5 times a week and make at least $500. That's how I like kind of like getting out of high school kind of took care of my
that's crazy
little stuff.
That is crazy.
And that's how I met Marv, going to this spot called The Lush. It was like we rap the beats. You throw a beat on, it wouldn't be a battle, but you spit your rhyme over like a Jay-Z beat or an industry beat. And but on the set of 8 Mile, prior to me being able to get into that spot, I would see, like I'm sitting up watching like Marv, Super MC, Wiz, different people battle Eminem. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And at that point, I'm like, I need to be in a fucking battle rapper. They like this. I didn't, you know, and like me, X Factor, Young Miles, we were all like sneaking into this club or whatever to battle or to rap or whatever. And our scene was like, but they'd have tournaments, but it just wouldn't be YouTube. Like Russell Simmons, he threw when they do the hip hop summits, he have a tournament, a battle. Pack St. Andrews Hall. This is my first maybe 5-6 months battling. This is how I met Riggs. I was in it. Swann was in it. A couple other people, and I never forget Swann. I ain't know Swann. I ain't know nobody. Swann, he's downstairs in the basement while all the battlers are sitting up prepping, and he's walking around like it's a lot of stuff on the line tonight. Russell Simmons out there. Hate the crack, and I'm sitting up. I'm like, who is this guy trying? We can cuss, right? I'm like, who the fuck is this guy trying to like, you know? So, like I got in that battle, won that battle, and they would have that. Like MV came, not MV, DJ Clue came with Oskino and Sparks. They threw a battle like right after the MTV shit with Swann, and like I'm in that, like going through people, and they know Swann from MTV. They're like, man, where the fuck is Swann at? This guy ain't, you know. Who Kid came in through battles. So like they came to Detroit. It almost seemed like to get that off that 8 Mile wave, but nothing was YouTube, nothing was filmed. It was all just prize tournament. Like all our shit, like you didn't get paid to get in it. So but you got paid if you won it.
So nobody throwing the battles really like had a plan. It was just like, let's just ride this wave while it's hot.
Yeah, people wasn't really doing the YouTube shit like that. We were like, it was probably around, like it was running parallel with what was going on in New York and Philly, but we needed music. Like it had to be a DJ at first.
You weren't doing the acapella,
right? Yeah, it wasn't.
The first time I saw you, I told Drect this the other day, was on True Life, the MTV, and I thought you were a killer. I remember being like, this dude is because you were super young too.
Right.
Like, this dude is about to be a problem. But that was you saw that the True Life with Swann and that dude Apollo.
Apollo is the biggest battle rap joke of all time, and I didn't get it.
He's one of those names.
There was, I think when Ilmac battled Thesaurus, he said something. No, you're more like Apollo and something. And I heard Passwords.
Awkward said it to Jay's Juice. He was like you're more along the lines of so and so Apollo and so and so.
Yeah, but Password said it to Hollow too.
Oh, maybe they both said it. So he
said the motto is groundbreaking. Players save the clown. Play for Apollo. I was like,
I'm really sure about the reference to the Apollo Theater.
Yeah, I thought that was Apollo Theater.
I just every time I hear Apollo,
because in the Apollo Theater, when you said off the stage, the clown comes and shoos you off the stage.
When I battled Apollo, on that MTV joint after I beat them, because like they were following all them
the
around.
Oxypad line.
Yeah, and I don't even remember. I know something, but I told, like, they did a cutscene to a cry
glad that he ain't got a huge motherfucking Oxypad.
That's what he had. So they did a cry cutscene like we were talking about before. like they went to him by the car and he was just like this and that.
That's where the bitch and crying came from.
Yeah, I remember.
They killed his whole life.
But like even that, like around the time they shot, like after they shot 8 Mile, they were looking to do a lot of different things, and like they ended up doing that next episode show that me and Ness was on. A couple people
the Showtime
from here,
one.
the Showtime.
Yeah, see, I didn't see that show when it came out,
right.
But it was you from Detroit, Ness from here, right, and then Spitfire from LA who won it. Who
won it in
and then
LA.
Diabolic was on that too, right?
Diabolic lost to this chick named
Chocolate Tie,
Chocolate Tie, Chocolate Tie.
Yeah,
and it was a dude from New York. No, that was from New York, but then it was a dude from Philly named Young something, Young real name. It was like his Young with his real name.
I think this is kind of connected. I'm pretty sure I heard a story about Ness. Ness was gonna go up to Detroit to fuck with you for some shit.
Yeah, he came.
You got caught up with some shit, and so Proof held him down, or was it the other way around?
He was coming to work with Proof, and Proof would always be running around or whatever. So let's get out there, and he like, man, what the fuck, man? We're out here. We drove, man.
Yeah, and I feel like a story he told me. I feel like Ness told me this, and tell me this is true. Is it true that in Detroit they have bulletproof glass in like McDonald's and shit? Fast food. You're like, yeah, doesn't everybody? Is there any other city that's like that? I think that's the only. I don't think in Chicago they have it like that. I never saw it in Chicago.
But yeah, they got bullets
everywhere. White Castles.
Yeah, but
like man, Atlanta.
I used to live out there, man. It's bulletproof glass.
Where, in Chicago or
Detroit?
Oh, you're talking about Detroit. I thought you were saying everywhere, like all cities. I was like, y'all seen that here?
You know what's crazy though? You think about like what you're trying to keep away from. Like, you're inviting us into this motherfucker.
Dog, I'm not mad at it. If I was working there, I'd be like, hell yeah, I want that shit.
Put this glass up, y'all. Come on, get shot for your Big Mac.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it.
But Ness came and we recorded like 3 songs that I lost on the hard drive. Man. Sorry, Ness. And but like we did that show the next episode, and that was the first battle rap reality show. Like the first. It wasn't a show like it before. It was on. So you had that's crazy, because you were still really young for that too, I'm sure. So you got on MTV and Showtime at that young of an age. Like, the MTV came a few years down, but like I've for whatever reason I always been fortunate enough when they had those things, like when they were doing the show, like I got on Showtime. I was like 18, 19, and I'd been on the battle rap scene for 6 months. Like, I hadn't been around long or whatever, and they had us do the Interscope deal to do the show. I'm sure you done talked to Ness about that. And it was like I was the first show, so it was like, I was the first battle rapper on national TV on a reality show for battle rap. And it was like, at the time, and crazy, it was a Jimmy Iovine and Paul Rosenberg collaboration, just like Total Slaughter is. And people were riding that 8 Mile wave or whatever, but the battles that happened before, like, it's stuff that went on in the D. Like, we were talking about the Fight Club footage that might not come out. I remember like when Fight Club started popping and Smack It started popping, they had been cutting checks for the TV stuff that I had been doing. So it, at the time, pardon me, at the time it didn't make sense financially for me to, I was like, I don't know if I want to do that.
He was the first battle rapper with this issue. It might not make sense to do that battle.
But I was like, they paid a nice amount of money, and that wasn't available in battle rap at the time. And it was before the industry was what it is, and sometimes you're like, oh man, I don't, like, you want me to drive all the way and you don't want to help me out with none of this. okay, well, I'm gonna go do a tournament for 1,500 that I could win or whatever. So that's where my mindset was. It wasn't. Plus, had I went out there at that point in time, I'd have lost because it was a sin to write a rap in battle. Like if you spit something written in the D. You was getting booed. Like, it's written. And whenever you were cold in your freestyle and you're going, gotta be like this. And you better say, ain't shit like on the Showtime shit. Like the guy was something forbidden. Ain't shit coming out my mouth written. And people will just go crazy off of that because they like, oh, he called him out. He ain't. It's not
how many corny like filler freestyle lines in that era where they was like, this dude ain't spitting. Everybody knows that shit was written.
So they had Bizarre, Miles, X. They had all went to New York, did the Fight Club, and Proof. He had brought International P and some cats down to Detroit. So we had this spot called.
Just to cut you off real quick, for people who don't understand, like, even though we know Proof was a celeb at the time, like, he is like to Detroit. Correct me if I'm wrong. What like Poison Pen was to New York for the battle scene. It almost seemed like.
Yeah, I probably get into fist fights with people from New York or whatever in regards to Proof, but Proof is hands down the best freestyle battle MC. He battles Super Nat, he beats Super Nat, and Super Nat is who we say is the guru. He beat Super Nat. He won the Source MC battle. He was unsigned hype before M was unsigned hype. He was like my first battle. Proof like paid me $100 out of his pocket because I won it. And he was like, Poindexter, you rap?
What about the spin the mic joint though?
Yeah,
who was that dude? What's his name?
Rado.
I remember that shit. Like, yeah, that was crazy.
Before we
that was fresh. That was fresh off.
Rado was the first person to say something about Proof.
Early on, too.
He was the first nigga that almost got in a battle rap based Proof fight.
Yeah,
it hadn't been.
It was a fight, and we had to like. It was crazy because like on the cameras you'll see motherfuckers say da 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 da. He said something about Proof. You're another Detroit nigga already resting in peace, and we had just buried Proof or whatever. And I had on my Proof shirt up under the shirt I had because back then you couldn't come to a battle fresh. You just had to have on black. And
yeah. So no one could say shit.
Now you're black hoodies, John battling suspenders and shit. Nobody says anything or whatever. So. I'm just saying, nobody says anything. And so I took off the shirt and I had the Proof shirt on, and I'm in my mind, I'm like, man, Proof always told us, man, do something, man, you just gotta push the limit or whatever. So I'm not even gonna let him get to me. But while I'm rapping, I kill him, and his man on the side, I don't even know who it was, but he said, I'm looking right at him. Nobody heard him but me or whatever because he's talking to me. I look at him and he says, man, fuck Proof. That nigga was a faggot. Pop, pop, pop.
Wait. Who said that?
Some nigga, some dude in the crowd.
After this whole thing?
After the battle when they were deliberating.
Damn.
Or whatever. So I'm looking at, and I don't care what nobody say. It's like all the sound went away, and I heard that. So I ran over to my man, swung on him. A fight broke out. They broke it up quick. Security grabbed me or whatever. Now I'm in New York. It's me, my manager, and Rude Jude. Okay, so that's it. These motherfuckers, they crew was the Maniac Squad or whatever. They deep in the corner.
D-Mob, all them
motherfuckers. And all this frenzy come online. Quest shouldn't have swung on them, blah, blah, blah. So I end up advancing to the fight. They kept the battle going, but then it got shut down. And me and Ilmac, well, it was me, Ilmac, Cyanide, and some other guy that Ilmac had a battle. Maybe What's His Face. That's his name. What's His Face.
Yeah.
So now we're outside battling. Like, now mind you, I didn't know who any of these people were. I didn't know who Ilmac was. I didn't know who the fuck the Source was. All I saw was pictures in a circle of who were gonna be in the battle.
That's a dope format. I just want to add. I really fuck with Spin the Mic.
Spin the Mic. We gotta bring that back.
That shit was dope.
So we ended up. The only name I knew was Iron Solomon, and he ended up pulling out of the battle. So it was.
Oh, he was in it originally.
And then battled the source afterwards
on
with
the street,
which
was smart.
Yeah.
Exactly. And so now we're outside. Mind you, I just swung on a nigga from, in my mind, all them niggas was from New York. Okay, I found out they was from Jersey, but still, I drove from Detroit. It's me and my son's mom car. You know what I'm saying? with Michigan plates right outside of the venue. I'm like, man, I'm about to walk outside. There's gonna be 100 New York niggas standing on the hood of my car. So if you watch me, especially me and Ilmac, I don't know where Ilmac from. I think all these niggas from New York. Okay, I ain't worried about him, but I'm just looking around. Like, the only person I knew, I think I saw like Franco or whatever, and I don't even think Franco was in that battle. But anyway,
no can.
Franco's a killer.
I didn't know who the fuck that was. I didn't know who.
He's a New York nigga too, right?
Yeah, all of them, New York niggas. So we get outside. If you watch me and Ilmac, and Ilmac won that battle hands down. Ilmac came to me before, and he was like, before the battle, he's like, yo man, you want to just split the money? You know, you take 1,000, I take 1,000.
Typical in that era, everybody did that, you know. And
I was like, no, because Jump Off had paid me $500 just to come or whatever. So I was like, I already got $500. I want it all. I don't know you. You New York niggas gonna try to fuck me up. Anyway, so if you watch me and Ilmac battle, the whole time, like, it's parts where I'm just turning around looking and I'm like, car or whatever, freestyling, but I'm really looking around for the niggas that because the niggas, they were in the venue, and you telling me we gotta go outside with these motherfuckers?
That's fucked up.
I do think that you and Ilmac was a classic battle. I'm glad it happened outside, but that's a battle that I think a lot of fans that was up on that era, like, we all saw and we all knew, like, word for word. Yeah, now, I'm not gonna lie, son. I think Ilmac had one of the best lines
Quest
I ever heard.
MCODY, you extra phony, give your testimony and confess you blow me on a straight face.
He said that, but it was the Nancy Kerrigan shit, man. He said, "Did we down from one bar like Nancy Kerrigan?"
Yeah.
And for that time period, I was like,
that was back when people thought he was just freestyling everything.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck, Nancy Kerrigan?
Yo, yeah, no, if you freestyled shit like that, you'd be the god.
Be the fucking. But it's crazy because, like, at that time, I've been so removed or whatever, and I did the battle just because they had hit me up. But when we were, like, some of the stuff that would go on in Detroit, like prior to Proof passing, Proof was always trying to bridge a gap or whatever between, like, the street dudes and the what you would consider the hip hop cats and or whatever. So he throw these battles, and one of them was the battle with Fight Club. So Fight Club came and they had, like, I battled this guy Killer Khan that I'm real cool with now.
He was in Purple Gang, right?
Yeah, he was in the Purple Gang, and like, I killed Killer Khan, and we all advanced to the next round, and all of a sudden, just all these New York niggas came out of nowhere. Like, we were battling each other, and nobody said nobody else was coming. And the shit was called, like, weapons of war, or pick your weapon or some shit. I don't know. And basically, so you could rap on a beat or without a beat, whatever. So these niggas that we were dinosaurs. They were aliens. They were coming and they were just spitting this acapella pre-written, and we're sitting there like, man, what the fuck is this? Preacher's battling, he got the things on his arm, and he like, the last nigga that played Superman ended up like me. And it's like, you saw that later. Later I saw that on more Preach battles, and it's like, but at the time, I had never seen Smack. I ain't know who the fuck Murda Mook was. So Mook came, and Mook was just killing niggas. Like, and we're watching like, man, what is this?
Dog, you know what that is? It's like fucking Native Americans seeing motherfuckers with shotguns.
So this is going on, and you know, at this time I'm out of the battle. Yeah. Right? And all Marv's out of the battle. Mook beat Marv. And we're in that bitch like, man, this shit ain't right, man. Proof you set us the fuck up. So it comes down to Swann, and if like you're a hip hop head, battle rap head, you know who Swann is. Like he did Scribble Jam, MTV. He's the one that really fucking beat Recognized. That shit was whack. Anyway,
he did.
He beat Recognized.
Yeah.
But Swann and Mook battled, and they went 5 overtimes. Like, and this was. Swann was all like he was just freestyling, and Mook just had every like it was like the J Mills bars were in there, the like everything that you saw on Smack, Mook was rapping or whatever. But we hadn't seen Smack.
Yeah, I was just like, what the hell?
We're like, what the fuck? So they went, and Swann is just freestyling, and I'm like, where is that footage? You know what I'm saying? So that was our setup. That's how we that was our introduction into the style of battle rap that we had now.
That's like a rude awakening, man. That's
it
crazy.
was like, man, and I was like, man, fuck this shit.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cats that you know, that aren't like as connected and in tune, obviously, with battle rap as you are, but like from an outside perspective, they still don't understand like the written thing. Like just the other night, I was over at the Apache, and we were talking about these battles we're gonna throw, and there's like some dude out there, and he's like, you know, like he doesn't understand the concept of a written battle. That still exists because Atlanta's not a battle rap city, so it's not very much connected with like these leagues and this culture and this scene right now.
That's why nobody knew me.
They still think about it, the Apache like battles is like on beat, KP, Mike Club, Drect the Beatnik stuff, and they're like written. That's just for it's like you said back in the day with Detroit people like written is like it's
like you lost the battle back then. Like you
now,
oh you wrote that?
Yeah.
This guy could be like A B C, your hat look like a B. And you're like some shit you wrote, and niggas like, nah, I'm giving it to ABC.
So after that, were all the battlers from Detroit like that shit sounded good? We want to write too.
Like it was a this guy named he go by Ty Fairs. His name T Flame and Famous X Factor. Miles, they were people for a use of better words. They didn't thrive on beat battles. They didn't like they didn't. That was kind of like something I did good with Swann, Marv, a few different people. That wasn't their thing. When those Smack DVDs and the fight clubs start coming out, they were into that, and they would go to Proof's. Proof had a record label in this building on Bagley downtown in Detroit on the like 11th floor, and they had battles in there, and it'll just be that's still online. Some of them it'll be just like 3 guys in a room, and it is like the home video of how to set up a battle, and they would battle, and so they started putting these things together. I'd already had a name again, like I wasn't doing certain. Like I wasn't going out of town doing those type of battles or whatever the case is, and I think I was like touring at the time, and T Flame had called me out, or Bizarre made it seem like he had called me. So however it went,
Bizarre Don King in it.
Yeah. So I'm in the studio, and this is probably one of the I'll tell you 2 of the like legendary but this is one that I was involved in. They had T Flame, Bizarre had called me. I'm in the studio recording with this cat named Joe Loops. And he like, yo, what's up, Quest? Where you at? I'm like, I'm in the studio. He's like, yeah, man, you supposed to be down here. I'm like, what? Oh, you ain't coming down. So all of a sudden I start feeling like, am I on speakerphone? Like I don't know. So kind of find out I was on speakerphone, and he's in a room with like 50 motherfuckers coming to see a battle. Scarchild was down there.
Scarchild was everywhere in those days.
Then was all sign him or something like that.
I don't know. Something happened, but like Scarchild was down there. Mook brother was down there. I don't know who it was, but he said
the tall nigga
brother.
that was cheerleading and
dark skin nigga. Yeah. So like it was a lot of people, and he was like, he hung up, and I get word from my guy later. When he hung up, he was like, yeah, man, Quest said he was going to play basketball or something. He wasn't coming. So I told him I wasn't coming or whatever. So I'm at the crib. I'm at the studio, and I'm fuming. I'm steaming because I hadn't battled in forever or whatever. But the fact that it's like, man, these motherfuckers think I'm a hoe ass nigga. Like that battle rap pride starts. So I'm like, man, we rolling. So we all get in the car, whoever I was with, we just mobbed down there. It was like a movie. Before I walked in, and this is what I'm getting told, and then I see what happened. Before I walked in, Bizarre like, yeah, we're gonna have this battle between T-Flame and Dayton. Remember Dayton? Fuck your life, Dayton.
Dayton was
Dayton was ridiculous.
First Cortez.
Yeah,
I talked to Dayton, man. He's
in the like church and stuff. Right?
Yeah, he's in a God now. He can't be rapping, but he was like
He had a crazy mixtape too.
His wordplay, like he was that. So
with Scram Jones, he had a mixtape that was serious.
So they were up. He was about to battle Dayton. And Bizarre was like, yeah, we're going to have him battle Dayton because Quest MCODY, he didn't show up. Right when he said that, I walked in. He said, because Quest MCODY didn't show up. I'm like, yo, I'm right here. What's up? In the fucking room party. So we come through, and Miles will tell you this shit. Like, if you ever talk to Miles, ask him about this battle. So he's sitting there, he's like, oh, shit. Or whatever. So we battle. He's written. I'm like just freestyle. Like
and that's the one that's online, right?
Yeah, it's actually two different battles. Yeah. So the next, they can't name a winner, so they have a rematch. Again, they set up a rematch. They have fucking flyers for this shit or whatever. I didn't ever see a flyer. Fucking X Factor and T-Rex was on the flyer. They were supposed to battle.
And that's why they battled on.
Exactly.
Okay.
So they had all these motherfucking names on the flyer, and Miles and X Factor. I mean, Miles and Rex battled, didn't they, in New York?
Oh yeah, and X Factor battled Nemesis.
Yeah, but
my trunk is Red Lobster. I go there for the biscuit.
Exactly.
Yep.
he was supposed to. So I get there for this battle, and we go or whatever, and it's like one of those classic battles. Like my man had 3 bands he wanted to bet, but like Famous had battled somebody before and had lost some money, so I think like they didn't have all the money they planned on having by the time we battled. Like Miles had battled, they got Killer Khan and he had won that money, and then T-Flame, Famous had lost some money, so like all the money wasn't there. So but like it was like classic, and those were the introductions to that style of rap or whatever in Detroit, like the Famous and Marv one.
I always said if those battles got put out, then y'all legend status would have shot up and your stock would have been so high, because it wasn't even like, of course you guys made it out of that era, but this guy's like Famous, who was like, I was like in awe. Like I didn't know you just had cast that dope in Detroit.
Famous was a product of Smack battle raps. Like Smack and Fight Club. That's what he watched. That's what him and T-Flame watched. You couldn't get Famous to battle rap if you wanted to now.
I tried, man. He had this one line against Marv. He said your girl head is like a good golf swing. She get up under the balls. Yeah. And I thought that was like the illest. I was like, oh shit, this nigga's crazy.
You know who used to battle? Like niggas would be like, what? Elzhi. Now this was before I came around. But like Elzhi from Slum V, like if you listen to him on paper, like you listen to him on beat, you're like, God,
the Ilmac joint that you love so much. Huh?
Yeah, the Ilmac shit is crazy. Yeah.
Him and Swann had a battle at this spot. I this is the folk tale or whatever. I'm catching, the story. Yeah. This is me translating, bringing the story so like Marv could elaborate a little more. I think Marv was there, but Elzhi was in this group called the Breakfast Club. And they was like preppy, like polo shorts and polo shirts tucked in. Fucking SpongeBob, not SpongeBob, but like cartoon backpacks and shit, whatever.
That was before Kanye.
Yeah. Wow. So preppy shit. So Swann came in there, and Elzhi was the man. And they say he literally broke up the Breakfast Club that day. He went in there and he called them gay and said they like, to the point that like you had never heard people saying the kind of shit in a battle that Swann was saying to people. Like you're a faggot. Your mother sucks dick. Your dad is gay. Y'all fuck each other. Like to the point that people was like, is Elzhi gay? Like
they start questioning it.
Like, and that's no shot to L. That's just what the story I hear from it. And Elzhi never battled. Like after that, like that was it.
You know what's so crazy is that when we were at Total Slaughter, I was talking to Graf, and I was like, when Joe wasn't doing as good as we thought, I was looking right in Graf's eyes, and I'm like, bro, you have to do this. It has to be you. You have to do it. And he's like, yo, I think I might. I don't know whether he will, but I was like, bro, like, you have to. It's gotten this bad. Like, battle fans don't want to see. And you know what I was thinking about after I was talking to Graf? I was like, yo, Elzhi would be crazy. And then, you know, apparently he's never going to battle again after that shit.
It's crazy now because the way the turn that battle rap is taken, like, is like where I'm at with it. Now with me, like, I just did a battle coming back. Like, I stopped battling like after Ice. Not stop battling, but I never always just because I was always doing something else. Like, I did some movies, some TV stuff, and I remember like when I battled Ice, that was because initially because the Math and T-Rex grind time battle had fell through, and I got a call and they were like, "Hey, would you?" And I'm like, you know. Cool.
Detroit every day, all day. I'm like,
you know who threw your name in there?
My man D-Rec.
Yes.
My man. You know, it's crazy because like I look back and like I was like so off of battling. Like direct, like when they first started grind time, like I think I got a call like, "Yo, man, we want you to battle Hollow," and I was like, "Yo, I don't really want to battle rap like that, man. I'm just kind of chilling." Or I got a Cortez, like when Cortez is in Soul Kind battles. Cortez, like me and Cortez never had a conversation about ever battle rapping, ever. And like in his battle, he was just like, "I was supposed to battle Quest MCODY and he was scared." and like I saw the shit like 8 months after the battle dropped. So like it was like, I'm like, what?
It's the T Flame shit all over again.
Right. So I'm like, so when I battle Ice, I was fighting the case in Detroit or whatever. So it was like, shit, man, I can't afford to turn down no paper right now. Let me go do it. And just like that fire wasn't there like it is like either now or just in general. The landscape of it has changed to where you can be a good writer now as well, like, and I think that's why you get cats like Arsenal that make good music as well, Sonny that make good music. You get Sue Surf that I like their music and they're writers. Like I remember when I first met Sonny, me and Sonny was not. I think it was when I first met Sonny.
It's probably Orlando,
and I never forget what I told Sonny because I'm like, yo, this motherfucker is cold, and him and Thesaurus battled, and I was like, I was mad at Sonny because he was happy to he was like, shit. Yeah, I'm bad. Like at the time, Sonny was new.
I'm glad you reminded me about that,
and
bro.
he battled Thesaurus, and I was like, man, fuck Thesaurus, man. Like you ain't gonna show him no love,
that
man. Like I was like, man, you're better than him, man. Go kill him or whatever. And like he had him, and it was like he was paying that homage that we're used to paying or whatever. But it was like, you know, and that now those writers that can write are shining, like the Luxes and the Mooks and the even Rex. Like Rex is probably the most consistent throughout the years, but.
Yeah, no, that's always really big when cats that like you look up to and you're trying to do what they do, like co-sign you and give you love. Like you never forget that shit. You know what I'm saying? Like for real.
I want to ask something real quick. Like, what's the process like now for like an artist or battle rapper? Like when you got so many different leagues that's calling you, then it's like they let you know your opponent. Like, what is that process like now that you actually say when you finalize the decision on taking the battle with a particular league or whatever? Like what is that process like?
It depends on the league and how professional they are with their thing. Like the last battle I did, and mind you, I battled Ice in the end of 2009. I did some 2-on-2 stuff in LA, 2-on-2 in London, and then I did a event in Detroit just recently. And it's different business everywhere. Like some cats send you over a contract, some just send you the money. Like it's it's very.
It's still really.
It's very it's loose. Like when I went to London, they said Like I called a lot of people like, hey man, is this gonna be okay? Like, am I gonna be straight? Like, because like it's one thing to like book a battle and like they don't have your bread right up front and you just like, yo, I ain't, you know, I'm gonna drive back to Detroit or whatever, and that's still tough.
Now when you're in London, you're not driving
in London,
back to Detroit.
I'm wondering, but like everything was good, man. Not even the money, but the people, the fans, but like the prep is what changed it for me or whatever and made me it not as attractive. It's more attractive now because I feel a different level of competition, a different aspect, a different way of conveying what I want to say. But before it was like, man, I gotta sit and be mad at a motherfucker for a month or two. Like that shit was taking shit away from my heart. Like when you were like freestyling and just showing up and spitting your rhymes.
It was a moment, yeah.
It was just like right then, because like I wasn't the guy. Like I could like I remember somebody like, hey, you and Sonny. I'm like, I can't battle Sonny. I like Sonny. Sonny's cool. Mm-hmm. Like I gotta not like you. Like when I battle Ice, I wanted to kill him. Like and not like none of my bars against Ice were gun rhymes or none of that shit. But I wanted to not like him until we got done. But like when you say like, what's up, man? What's up, Wolf? You what's up? You and I'm like, yo, stop talking to me.
I hate that. I used to hate that funny, yo, let's be my friend kumbaya shit. No, nigga.
But cause like in Detroit, when I would battle or when we would battle, it'd be a tournament. It's 16 people. You don't know who you battling. And you're walking around just pacing. I'm just pacing. I'm not saying nothing to nobody. I'm wearing a hole in my shoes.
The moment that starts before that is at the beginning of the night when whoever's running is like, all right, everybody signing up, or if you sign up, come over here. And then everybody kind of, you know what I mean? Like,
you sign up.
Motherfuckers that go over there.
Man, a crazy thing. Like, I used to throw these battles. I had a record store or whatever on 6 Mile in Greenfield. In Detroit, 6 Mile in Rutherford, CD Music Exchange, and we had a record store on one side. We had a studio on the other side. So every Saturday I throw this battle, and they put it like on TV, like the cable, all cable access or whatever it was, and that's where I met Calico.
Okay.
Or whatever, because Calico's dad was in a group that like sold like 80,000 records, like right in Detroit. They had a deal with Interscope that fell through or whatever, but like his dad is like in a legendary rap group in Detroit. Like if you from Detroit, you from the hood, you say Rock Bottom,
I didn't know he did music.
You're gonna be like
Rock Bottom.
Yeah, Rock Bottom, like Alligator City, Big Hurt, Blackface, J Nutty. These are like, so my best friend was kicking it with Cal's auntie or whatever. So that's how I knew Cal's dad. Like, he's a big homie. And he like, yo, man, my son's rapping. I'm like, man, have him come through. And Cal, like 13, 14, man, up at this shop, killing, like grown-ups, killing them. Like, I'm taking them to, man, I'm sneaking them in like Club Envy up the back door. He like 15. Like at a club, like a club battle. I'll never forget about this dude from Oops Entertainment. He was so deep, and Cal was just him and his dad. Like, and Cal had this thing, man. Like I thought Cal like had Parkinson's or some shit, whatever. Because like he would be like, he had a mic. Like then, you know, when we have a big, like I had a radio show at University of Detroit Mercy. So we had a kickoff, and Cal was battling this guy named Times, and they went into like super overtime or whatever, and we just called it a draw. But like Cal had this thing when he'd be holding the mic, he'll just be, like he'll be rapping in the whole time, like, and it's like, yo, he was fucking nervous. And then you look at Cal now, you know what I'm saying? But so I got footage of Cal and Hami Ham battling.
In Detroit?
In Detroit.
Hami Ham came to Detroit?
Hami Ham came to Detroit and got killed by a 16-year-old. Like, Calico killed some shit.
I'm sure damn near nobody knows about.
You know what's so crazy is that when you said that Hollow's name got tossed around, is that Hollow, I think your name got tossed around, and I was like, what about you and Hami Ham? And he was like, yeah, son. And like both of y'all niggas was like, nah.
And then he ended up battling Swann, right?
Yeah, he battled Swann.
Yeah. with the
And
pro
you said
meth in
that
his
could have
pocket.
been, that's great, and that's like a legendary battle and shit.
Yeah, it
You
is.
know what I'm saying?
You're welcome, Swann.
So
Shout out Philly Swann.
just walk us through from that time where Proof set up that first battle, and if you can name a couple more battles that he threw at those events we didn't know about, up to the time that you and Marv got on jump off. Like, what's that transitional period?
Proof would throw these battles like when I first got started. He threw them at St. Andrews, and he paid money out his pocket. So I came, I won a few, just getting on the scene. Then me and Marv battled. Marv won. I thought I won, but Marv, he was established.
That's how he got his name. His name was
out there.
Marv, and then he beat you.
Then he
changed
beat me,
the
and then he
Marv
won. No, but I never forget we battled, and I had on this this is when I stopped dressing fresh to battles and shit. I had on this Piston jacket with a fucking Stackhouse jersey, and like Stackhouse had got traded earlier that day, and I didn't know.
That day,
And like I felt like I was kicking on his ass. Like I ain't give a fuck about nobody, and everybody that knew Marv, they were like, "Oh, this is Marv." I didn't know who Marv was, mind you. I didn't know about the battle rap scene. I was just like, "Yo, these motherfuckers get to battle Eminem and get to be on 8 Mile. I want to get on whatever." So I'm going at Marv, and his last little line, something for nigga. Stackhouse don't even play for the Pistons. And just everybody just went crazy.
And you're like, what the fuck? You're like, what do you mean?
Like, yeah, dude. So like we do those. So he threw a battle where it was like they had this MTV hookup, like the one Marv was on initially, and they had a battle contest. And 50 Cent was doing a show somewhere, so Proof didn't come. like he just didn't make it in time. So all of us are just sitting there waiting. It's like me, Marv, Swann, Hostile, all the guys that were.
Shout out to Hostile too.
And those were the 4 people. Just me, Marv, Swann, Hostile. This is still to the beat or whatever. And Proof never showed up, so they just ended up sending Marv as the Detroit winner. And I'm like, man, what the fuck? So mind you, me and Marv aren't cool at this time. I don't know him like that, so I drive all the way out to New York in a blizzard, stand in line. The shit get canceled. We come back or whatever. So like when Marv was doing that, me and Swann were in the crowd, like as reserves. So like they had 1,000 people.
She was like hoping this nigga broke his leg.
Right, exactly. Look, they had 1,000 people and that are auditioned, and me and Swann, like there were 24 people in the battle, and then they had 4, and me and Swann were 2 of the reserves. We're like, man, I hope this nigga die. like not Marv, but just anybody. Yeah. So like Proof would throw those. We had the shit popping off back in the city. 8 Mile played a big. So then came this shit called, like, it was a city versus city like battle kind of thing where you would
It wasn't Chicago, Detroit.
It was like Cleveland versus Detroit. So we drove to Cleveland and battle cast like this guy named Drastic, Snubs, some nigga with a pink hat.
What's that? Snubs here now?
I know Snubs.
Zero?
Yeah,
Snubs Zero the God.
Yeah. So we did that. Then we did a Detroit versus New York. Like we did a rematch because like that's when
that's when rematch for Mook and all them. Yeah,
they came back. We did a Detroit, with New York. I'm sorry, Cleveland, and they came to Detroit. And I'll never forget the line. It was like I was battling somebody, and I was like, I don't believe your town. What the fuck is a Cleveland Brown? I only know bitches with Cavaliers or something. And then I had a line. I was like, y'all got Bone Thugs and MC Brain. Y'all probably Bone Thugs and give MCs Brain or some shit or whatever. It was all And from there, the same company did Detroit versus New York. So now we're going out to New York. Go ahead.
Freestyling those bars?
Yeah. And so we go to New York, And by this time I did like the TV stuff, different stuff. So I was like, I'm like, oh shit, this is what's up. I'm going to New York. I'm boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
We get out there. It's like me, Swann, Hostile, this guy named Killer Khan, and this guy named Finale. And like Diabolic was hosting and Swann was hosting. And then like Mecca was in the battle. Rights for the Source.
Yep.
Who's his man he used to ride with? Mickey Fax was in the battle. His name was
I
Renegade.
saw that footage. I saw
and
yes.
like me and Mickey battled, and like he changed his name after that.
Used to be Renegade.
Yeah.
It's online.
I've seen that. I've seen that.
And he right, because like I was like, damn, this Mickey Fax guy's taking off. And then I was on World Star one day, and they was like, throwback battle from Mickey Fax versus some guy. I'm like, and then somebody must have said something enough, so they changed it and put my name on the shit. But like we did that, and from that we went to Houston.
And
we was back. This shit is on Netflix. This is so fucked up because like it was back when like it was a big production, but they didn't have clearance for beats. So it was like we were rapping to like grinding and like lean back. And like when the shit came out, it was like,
am I crazy, or did the MTV battle with Swann have those kind of beats?
That's
too?
the same thing.
Same deal. Those beats were doo doo. You remember that?
Yeah, it was like we were rapping other shit. So
shout out to Kiati too, man. That's my man.
Kiati had the manila envelope full of money.
That'd be hilarious if there was a dude out there that like they went to make those beats, and it was just like, oh man, like I thought them shits were
man, I can make that
shit. Grinding.
It's funny because I battle. I didn't even know who it was at first because Marv used to always joke. He like, nigga, Orange Juice Jones, son, and I didn't know what he was talking about. But like I battled Orange Juice, like singing. I saw you watching me walking in the rain.
His other son Esco, man, I had him trying to get on grind time right before the shit happened. His other son is nice,
straight up.
His name is Esco Jackson. He's dope.
We had it's so many characters. Like I remember Royce got into it with this guy that used to come to the Lush. I can't remember his rap name used to be like something the Punchline King or whatever. And I like he used to have these rhymes like, and he had like we had set up like half a bar set up, one half in a bar rhyme or whatever at the top of the beat, like, and look at him, he's so some look at him or whatever. So he was talking shit about Royce. It's on tape, somebody got it. Like he was just going in on Royce, and then just out of nowhere, tell Nelly get his gap tooth fixed, he could use a pool stick for a toothpick or whatever. And so like he went through this whole thing of dissing Royce. Like it was when I first got on the scene, the cool thing to do in battle rap was like diss Royce. Like
Royce the 99.
Everybody was dissing Royce. Purple Gang, they came out with a diss record about Royce. This is when D12 Royce, they weren't getting along.
When they did that beef.
Exactly. So everybody was dissing Royce, and I'm just like, Royce cool. I like Royce. Like everybody, like the whole city gonna hate you, like you Royce 5'9", and I'm like, why the fuck?
Like, he didn't even do nothing.
I don't know, but I was kind of fresh into it. But so my man got up there and he had rapped and he said shit about Royce, and then Royce came down to the Lush one night with my man. He my man's night at the time.
This is when Royce was already Royce, like had his name. Yeah,
he was out, so like he was. It was around the time like the rhinestone bandanas and the
yeah.
You can't touch me shit.
Game radio.
Game recordings.
Yep.
Yeah. And
the people who made Hip Hop Honeys, if you don't know.
He was on Tommy Boy.
Yeah.
So Royce came down to the Lush with this. It's my man House, but at the time I didn't know who he was. With this big ass 6'4" like super nigga. And he got on stage and he like, yeah, I heard cats. I want y'all to just listen. Turn the beat off. And it was like you would never see somebody say turn the beat off. Like that's, and he started rapping some shit, and looking back at it was cold. But like looking at the film, like at the crowd at the time, we wanted to hear something, you ugly. Something, bitch ass nigga. We didn't want to hear like so. Like Royce never did battles or whatever, but like that he came up and like just showed that lyricism, and it used to be cats like Royce that would come up. Royce didn't go to the Lush as much because him and everybody was beefing at the time or whatever. But like you'll be at this spot, the Lush Lounge, where you got to kick your verse. People like it. They give you like that's how you built your rep. And like I'm never forget I'm in that bitch and there's a dude with a mink coat on. Like I get off the stage and I'm like, man, this nigga got on a mink coat. Who the fuck is this nigga in the hip hop spot with the mink coat on? And I walk by and he's like, yo, man, that was dope, man. You're dope. And I'm like, oh, all right, thank you. And I'm like, weird ass nigga with the mink coat. Somebody walk up to me like, yo, man, what Jay Dilla just say to you? I'm like, who?
Yeah, wow.
Like, I didn't even know who Dilla was. Like, he's like, man, Jay Dilla, man, he did this and he ran me all these songs. He's like, man, he did Tribe, man, Busta, Janet, and I'm like, that's who just told me I was,
that's crazy,
you know?
yeah.
And like a month or two later, I was on like a Jay Dilla like project or whatever. And that's kind of how the scene was. Like we had like a different branches from when M got on and D12 got on, and then Proof had his group of people that he messed with, Famous, T Flame, Mo Dirty, Hostile, Super MC. Swift had his group of people like the Raw Collection. This guy named Beretta was cold. Redbone, Zeddy, like they had their crew. Lowdown, man. Then Bizarre, he had like X and Miles or whatever. Kaniva really was just kind of chill. The Nine was just working on beats, different stuff. And you know, he ended up working with like Guilty Simpson, different stuff like that. But our scene, we just, it was always tournament. It was always. It's not like that now. Like we got some killers right now.
Well, we're a little squeezed for time, so but I want you to get this off real quick. Just explain the whole you and Marv jump off thing, and I have a funny story about that too.
Okay. What you want to know? You want to know what
just
the tapes are?
How did y'all just tell us how did y'all get into it, and then what happened with the tapes?
All right. They wanted me and Swann to do the first jump off, and I said no. Swann was interested, but I was just like, I don't want to do it. Then they asked us to do the jump off the second go round, and Swann was like, no.
Yeah.
And I told Harry, I'm like, hey, I got somebody, and I just grabbed Marv. At that time, me and Marv, we were cool, but we weren't as cool. That kind of built our friendship or whatever, doing the jump off. Pause. And but we got a call and we start just putting that together. What a lot of people don't know, you know, when we were prepping, like after we won Detroit and we were prepping for New York, like my brother got killed. Like right after my brother got killed, like in September of 2007. So we didn't like jump off. The battle was in December. We didn't get together to start working until like November, end of November or whatever, just because I wasn't trying to hear that shit. And we prepared, did whatever, got out there, did well. I think, you know,
y'all still held it down. It didn't seem like y'all were unprepared.
Yeah, we were. It was. We had enough time, and had the battles with the Swords and Ilmac. I thought we had battles with the Swords and Ilmac. So
before you get to that part, I need to say something. Marvin Quest had two of like the illest battle rap moments in history. One is popular and one isn't as popular during like the regular season before they even got to the end of that. Okay. One was when they were in the park outside and this nigga came dressed up like he worked at T-Mobile and he just got off work and they did this thing where they were like nigga, back in high school I beat your ass. And then the next round they went back and forth and talked about how they beat his ass. Like, this nigga was in math. I ran in the classroom and started beating his ass. This nigga broke his foot. He was in the cast. I took that motherfucker off and beat your ass. And they did it for a whole round, and that was like the illest shit.
That was probably the first time you had like what we had now, like hooks in your battle. Like, hey, take it to or whatever. Like, it was like a theme. Like, and it was spontaneous. It came from us just talking shit. We was like, man, look, like, man, I beat your ass. So we was just in the studio just freestyling one day just about shit. We was like, man, one day we gonna do that.
That's crazy.
And when I said it, he looked at me like, but all of it was like spontaneous.
You know, and the other thing was, it was so funny, nigga, it was dressed like T-Mobile and y'all was doing that. But another one was, I guess, when you got into like that was like the tryout. When you got into the regular season, like, I guess you ended up battling like your cousin, right?
Oh yeah. I know.
And this nigga, basically, they was beating his cousin's team, and his cousin basically was just getting destroyed. And it was like Quest had said something like, did you say he work at McDonald's or something like that?
Yeah. Your regular Coke,
with a regular Joe, with a regular Flo, give me a large fry and a regular
Coke,
and they were just going in, and like I was like, yo, these. It
was so crazy because I wasn't gonna, like, this was my cousin and he didn't really rap.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, hey, I'm gonna get in this, and he just ended up in it. Mm-hmm. And I was like, all right. So when we battled, I'm like, man, I ain't gonna say nothing about nothing. And then he started talking about like the school I went to, and like he said my fucking name, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Mm-hmm. So the first thing I said, and you'll go crazy, like I said, I remember when we was young, y'all had so many roaches. I thought they were on teams and y'all were the coaches. Yeah. but it was like, and you. But just to fast forward, because I know we pressed for time. We got to the we did the Ilmac the Swords battle or whatever. It was controversial because we were ruled that we lost, and all the judges said they wanted overtime. Mm-hmm. And it came to find out that they had jump off and overturned their decision to make it overtime. Mm-hmm. So we didn't say anything. Like we were just like, yo, this some bullshit. So the next round, like, the cats from the UK were battling the cats from New York or something, and like it was like straight up, they didn't, like, whoever should have won is neither here nor there. It was
Franchise and Zilly versus them.
No, it was UK. It was Archaic and Irv versus Frankie Waps.
Oh yeah.
Not
Jay's Juice.
Jay's Juice. What the fuck? so the New York judges voted for a particular team, mm-hmm. and the team that they voted for, Harry and them was like, yo, they lost. And so I'm like, yo, can I see the thing? I'm like, what happened? Mm-hmm. Or we're like, what happened? You're like, nah, we got the right to override the judges. And we're like, y'all overriding the judges? So a big ass, that's why like us and Ilmac and them, like, some people want to see it, some don't, mm-hmm. or whatever. But that's why we're always like, hey, we know what's up. Because like if you talk to Poison Pen, mm-hmm. Sway Sever, who were judges, they'll tell you the same thing. Mm-hmm. They, but so it was a big ass ruckus, mm-hmm. or whatever. People was yelling, different shit was going on, or whatever. The tapes came up missing. Now, all this time we're in the fucking building, we're all in this room. The tapes come up missing. So, and this is probably the first time I've talked about it or mm-hmm. whatever. Marv has joked about it or whatever, I just kind of, I don't know, whatever. We joked about it when we battled
Dan and
SoCon. So the battle's over. They still ain't got the fucking tapes. They searched everybody in that bitch. Like, they searched me, Marv. They searched mm-hmm. our bags. Like, I'm talking about pat down, like, search. So we leave, and I bump into somebody with the tapes. I'm never gonna say who it was, but I bump into the guy with the tapes, and the guy says, what's up? He want to sell me the tapes. And I'm like, well, let me hold on to them and see. And let me check them and make sure they right or whatever. So I had the tapes, and I couldn't do anything with them or whatever. And then they didn't have no money, and they like put us out of the like, they had booked my flight for like 2 or 3 extra days, but didn't have a hotel. So like, these motherfuckers got me in New York, me and Marv in New York, with nowhere to live. Like, so Vanguard ended up taking us in. So we're sitting, and then Harry put out the thing, and he say, yo, we're gonna put, $10,000. We're gonna get $10,000 to the person that got the tapes or whatever. By that time, it was like, here. And they was like, nah, we not. My man, somebody called, and they was like, yo, here. They're like, yeah, we're not giving $10,000. or whatever. So we just threw them bitches out. Like,
so that's crazy.
Wow.
Marvin
There's
Quest
the story of the tapes.
didn't steal the tapes, and yeah, we're basically through. I just want to say one thing before this is over. Cats do not know. I don't even know if you know this. Just me and Marv might be the only ones. So I guess Marv was under the assumption that me and Hemi were gonna beat Mad Ills and Parable to come out the Atlanta division and like get first place.
mm-hmm.
So this is back when we all had sidekicks, and me and him are on aim after the battle. And he's like, "Yo, y'all won, right?" And I'm like, "No, Mad Ills and Parable won." He's like, "Damn," and I'm like, "Yeah, I hate these niggas, man." And at the time, I was working at Subway, and Mad Ills was working at Subway at a different one as a manager. And I'm like, "This Subway ass nigga, man, I can't." Right? So Marv was like, "Hold on, he works at Subway?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I was just like, "Oh." And he like, "All right, bro, good shit." So you get in the battle, and you know Marvin Quest destroyed Mad Ills and Parable, and they're like talking about Subway, and Mad Ills is like, "How the fuck do they know this?" And then
You're not a rapper, you're a Subway sandwich artist.
They play it on Parable, and they're like, now there's something, and the shit soaking in. If Parable didn't tell us, how else do we know it then? And I'm watching it like, oh shit. And so I remember, like, you know, after that, Grind Time came, and me and Mad Ills got close, and he was like, "Yo, man, like, I still don't know who told him the Subway shit." And he's like, "I think it was Madness, man." And I talked to Madness, and Madness is like, "It wasn't even me. He's hated me for like 2 years." And I was like, I never said anything until right now.
Yeah,
so crazy.
Right now,
Man,
but yeah,
that shit.
you're welcome, nigga.
Hey, yo, real quick, I know we gotta go. When I first met Drect, Drect, as you can see, this motherfucker is the biggest battle rap brain, like, period, point blank, period. He is the encyclopedia of battle rap. Okay. I met him in Florida. He was going to Full Sail, but we had talked online back and forth. Like, Grind Time was gonna be a magazine. He, like, me and Marv did an interview for him. What the hell was that? But we're sitting at like some restaurant, like getting breakfast or something, and this is how big of a battle rap fan Drect was at the time. Like, he fucking videotaped us talking just about just laughing at IHOP for about 10 seconds. That's it. And put it up online. I'm like, man, who the fuck is this guy?
I put on rap music in the forum.
He like, Quest and Marv fooling. Yeah. And I'm like, it was like 10 seconds of nothing. But I was like, man, who is this guy? Or whatever, like, but he knows his fucking battle rap. Like,
you surprised me with some
like,
stuff you know.
It's true. It's crazy.
That's what it is, man. Hopefully, I get paid to be an encyclopedia.
They need to have him. They do the next Total Slaughter. Have Drect, like,
I want a mentor.
Do the history.
Yeah, right.
The chronologicals of battle
Right.
rap.
Yeah, but yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the episode. We went a little over time, but classic shit. Thank you, Quest.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Sonny.
Appreciate y'all.
Thank you to our cameraman, Cal. He hold it down. Thank you to our producer, Alf. Thanks to my man, Shad, who just sat here and laughed the whole time. Thanks to Quest's cousin. You know what I'm saying? Holding it down.
Hey, yo.
And thanks, Von Jeff.
Hey, yo, I just want to say shout out to my daughter, Armani. KJ, I love you most definitely. And just anybody out there listening, watching, if you pursue something, pursue it with all your heart. And don't let nobody take that away from you. Yeah.
There you go.
Word up.